Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me. My name is Maria, and I am the owner of Deck the Halls DIY Studio in Stanley and in New Richmond, Wisconsin. We have 2 locations. If you're joining me today, you probably have ordered our Thanksgiving kit with our turkey. He is so cute. He would look cute on your mantle, on your shelf. This is a great project for you to do with your kids or just by yourself, or get some friends together and paint your turkey. He is really fun. So let's get started. If you ordered a kit from Deck the Halls, you would receive all of your paints. So I have put them around the side of me here. You would receive all the cutouts. We would have sponges for you, your cutout letters, directions are on this video, and glue. So you have everything you need to create at home, which is awesome. So let's start with our project. One thing that I did just to help me get through the video, because sometimes when you get talking, you forget what colors you want to paint things. I went through with a pencil and I just really lightly wrote down what color I was hoping to paint each piece. And that will also help you when you start painting, if you want to sort them into piles and paint all of certain colors at the same time, that will help you too. So if you want to do that, feel free to take a look at our picture, take a look at your paints that you have, and you can mark down your pieces as well. We are going to start by building our base. So the base is 4 pieces that we're going to glue together. So this larger piece and this other large piece, this one has the slot, so that's gonna go on top. We're gonna glue these 2 pieces together, and I like to glue on this one because I see where the slot is. Do not get glue in the slot, because that is where your turkey is going to fit, and if we glue that part, the turkey won't fit very well and he won't fit in the slot. So you notice that I'm putting my hands on the edges just to make sure it's all square. Okay, so I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna set that aside for a moment. And then I'm going to take our 2 smaller pieces and I'm going to glue those together as well. Both of these pieces have the slot, so you wanna make sure when you glue that, again, you don't get glue in the slot, and you wanna make sure that these line up really well. Okay, so I'm just running glue down the sides, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to push it on the sides. I want to make sure that that slot is completely open for me to put my base in. Now, I'm going to take my extra pieces off my turkey, and you have this big, large cutout. I like to stick my cutout in this slot. Now, because the the glue is wet, it will slide a little bit, but I like to do this because I just want to make sure that it all fits the way it should before I glue. And then I just put some glue on the sides. I'm not putting it on the slot at all. I'm putting it on the sides so that I can adhere these 2 pieces together, and then I will know that they will fit. So while it's in here standing, I'm just gonna push this down, and my turkey I'll take out, and then I will set this aside to dry. Okay, so we assembled it, now we want it to set and dry. So you can just put that aside, and if you are someone that sorted out your colors, that's awesome. You could put that in with whatever color you wanted to paint that. I'm going to paint mine black, so I'm just gonna leave that over here. I'm gonna start with my big turkey cutout. Now, when you paint these cutouts, you're just going to paint. We don't have to dab on this big cutout. You'll see that you have some score lines. I would recommend using the smaller edge of your sponge, and in your kit we included a few of these smaller brushes that you can just go along the edge. Now these brushes are really nice because once you're done painting with them or you want to change a color, you could just wipe them off, or you just toss them when you're done as well. Okay, so I'm going to paint this part of the turkey, this color right here, this medium brown color. And when you paint that, you'll just dab some paint in and you will just paint, okay? So for all of these pieces, you will just paint your turkey. And one thing you will also notice about the project is that the edges are burnt. So you do not have to worry about painting the edges. And you'll notice that this project also has many layers. So in the middle here, we're gonna put this turkey part over. So you don't have to worry about getting this middle part super great, okay? Because you're gonna end up gluing this one on. So feel free to just paint and layer your colors if you would like. Do different things with that, and make it yours. I'm excited to see what colors you use. Okay, so once you paint your first portion, I wanted to show you a way you could paint that second layer of feathers. I put some paint on my sponge and I'm just gonna get paint in the areas, in the larger areas where my sponge can be. It will fit in those spots. Okay, and then you can also take the other side of your sponge and go along and pull away from the score line. Now, if you're thinking, oh, this is a little detailed for me and that sponge, that's okay. You can also take the little brush that we gave you and go along the score lines with the brush. Okay, and so what I would recommend for that is putting a good amount of paint on there, not too much, but enough so that the brush can smoothly flow along the score line. Because if you don't have enough paint on it and then it gets stuck, right? It's too dry. So you want to keep the paint on it so that your brush keeps moving and it will flow nicely. So you'll just go along and paint these in, and then whatever color you paint your last set of feathers, do the same with that, that layer. I'm going to use this dark brown, so I'm gonna put a little bit of paint on there, and because it's on the outside, I might just try to put paint on my sponge here and slide along the score line. Okay, so that might be tricky for you to see. Let me see if I can get you a closer look at that. So taking a little bit of extra paint on my sponge and slide along the score line. It's harder when I'm talking to you. Okay, and then I'm pulling the paint off the edge. So I'm taking the extra paint from the score line and pulling it back off the edge. And there we go. Okay, so you're gonna paint those extra pieces. And notice I didn't paint here because we are gonna cover that spot up with a hat. So I didn't worry about painting in that spot. Okay, so once you have your layers painted, you can set this piece aside. We're going to move on to start painting our turkey. And so I'm looking at this and I think I'm gonna paint my turkey the lighter brown. So I'm gonna leave that part right here. And then know that whatever color you paint your turkey, you will also want to paint on this piece, which is the sign he's holding that says Turkey Day. You'll also wanna paint right here because those are his hands. Okay, so I'm gonna just take my brown, and then with these, you just paint, okay? Just like we did before, you'll paint each piece. You don't need to dab, you certainly can if you want, But because it is each piece and we're gonna assemble when we're done, you can just paint on with your sponge and get the coverage with the paint that you like. This is your project, so make it how you want it. Cover up the burn lines if you want, or leave them if you like them. Lots of variety and choices in these. Lots of ways to make your turkey yours and personalized to you. So just make sure when you paint this piece that you also paint the hands for his sign. Okay, so make sure you get that the same color when you're painting. Okay, once you have painted these pieces, you're going to just start painting all of your other pieces, whatever colors you would like. And remember, I went through it at the beginning and marked off what colors I was painting each of the pieces. And everything goes together like a puzzle almost. So when you're painting, remember to separate and think about what each piece is for. And then just paint like we have been painting. So paint it on, get the coverage that you want, and then come back. I want to show you how to paint this. I'm gonna paint this white. And so I'm gonna paint my letters black so they kind of jump out. So just get a little bit of paint on your sponge. Your letters are gonna be taped on their board. So you're just going to dab, and don't have a lot of paint. This is a lot of paint, okay? You can see that glob of paint. Don't have a lot of paint because you don't want a lot of paint to push through into the cracks of the letters, because we need to get those letters out. Okay, so just make sure when you're doing this that you don't have a lot of paint on there at all. In fact, you can dab it off if you want, just to make sure you don't have a lot of paint. And dab it on this one, just so you're not intentionally pushing a lot of paint in those grooves where we are gonna separate them in a little bit. So you'll just paint over the entire piece, because the letters are gonna come out and get glued onto this banner board that the turkey is holding. Okay, and again, paint whatever color you would like, and make sure you get the coverage that you are hoping for when you do paint these. Okay, so now paint all of your other pieces, and then we will come back when it's dry to assemble. Also, paint your base, whatever color you want to paint it. Grab your sponge, and for this one, just paint like you normally would. I recommend and strongly encourage you not to get paint in your slot. The turkey base will not fit in very well if you fill this with paint. So if you do get paint in there on accident, take a paper towel and try to absorb some of that paint out of there. Okay, so this is the base that will hold up your turkey cutout. So this can be any color that you would like it to be. Okay, maybe the top is one color and maybe the bottom part of the base is another color. That would be kind of fun too. So paint to your liking, and when all the pieces are painted, we'll come together and we will assemble. Okay, so I wanted to give you a few tips before painting all of your pieces. So for these smaller pieces, you can use masking tape or painter's tape and tape them or adhere them to the back of the sticky side of the tape, and then just use your paint and paint as you normally would. There's a little bit too much paint on there. Just paint as you normally would. I dab these pieces, but you can certainly paint them. A tip for getting your yellow, more yellow. Paint it white first, and then paint when it's dry, paint over the top yellow, and that will help the yellow pop out more. Okay, so after all of your pieces are painted, we'll wait for them to dry and then we'll assemble. So just remember, the masking tape or the painter's tape work really well for the small shapes. And painting some of your cutouts white first and then painting them yellow especially, and you could even do it on the orange, will help that color be a little bit more vibrant and stand out more with fewer coats of paint. All right, once it's all dry, we'll assemble. Okay, let's get ready to assemble. So have all of your pieces ready to go. And you will want to start with the big turkey body. So you'll take your body, kind of look at where you want them to go, add glue to the back of them. And I would add it around all the pieces, the little parts that make up our turkey. Okay. And then lay it down. It should sit flush at the bottom. Okay, so the bottom part right here, you'll want to make sure that lines up. So right now I'm just checking that it all lines up, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of pressure to adhere it. And from here, you can kind of mix and match where you're going to go. If you want to do the hat, put this brim on first. Because that will tell you where the rest of the hat pieces go. So you'll build the hat from the bottom up. But if you wanted to start with his face, you could certainly start with his face and eyes. You could start down at his feet. Okay, so you'll piece everything together. I still have my pieces over here. Now, this is cut a certain way, so you will want to find how it fits before you glue it down. Okay, so the smaller side down for the buckle. Okay, I'm having a glob of glue, so kind of just paint the glue on the buckle. And then I noticed that I didn't cover enough paint right there. So I'm just gonna quickly do that. And then I will let it dry while I will move to his eyes. So his eyes, you'll wanna put your white in first, or whatever color you made these. Okay, so his funky eyes can go in like a puzzle, okay? And then I did these pieces black, so I'll just do a little dot of glue. They're gonna fit right in. Okay, super cute, isn't he? And this would be fun to do with your friends or your kids. Give them all a different job to do for painting. His beak. And it's really fun how it all fits together. Okay, so there's that part. His legs, I'll just glue them on down here. And then the sign, we'll do that one next while I'm waiting for that little bit of paint to dry on my hat. Okay, so the trick to the sign, he's holding the sign wherever you kind of want it to be. I'm gonna have it right about there. Okay, the trick to the sign is you wanna take painter's tape, or masking tape, but I'd recommend painter's tape, and you're gonna take your painter's tape and put it across the letters that you painted. Okay, so you're gonna put it across the paint side, and then you will flip this over and you will carefully peel up the back side, and then you will take your glue and you will want to very carefully put it on each letter. Okay, now you want to try your hardest not to get it outside the letters, because if you do, that might adhere this bottom, the bottom piece to your board. I'm going to switch to a smaller glue. So make sure we included a really skinny glue, so try to be using that one if you can, because this other glue that I had is a little bit too much. So I'm just gonna, and this one's coming out really fast too, so I'm just actually gonna dot in spots where we need the glue so that the letters stick down, okay? And I'm trying not to get too much. Over here I have a lot, so I'm gonna start scooping it up from these other letters and sharing it over. Okay? And you'll just wanna make sure all of the pieces have glue on them. And then you will flip it over, and this is the same size. Okay, it's the same size as the white banner he's holding. So you'll push it down, peel up. Oops, not enough glue on the bottom of the exclamation mark maybe. Here we go. So if that happens, pull it out, add your dot of glue, see if you can drop it back in. Okay, now there's the glue on there. Peeling it up. Add some pressure, and then pull it up. Now, if some of your letters come with, that's okay, because you would rather have them come up than have the big piece stay down, right? So my Y is being a little fussy, but this is where I started. So I'm just gonna take, I have my pencil here, I'm just gonna take my pencil and push my Y down. He's being really fussy. I have a lot of paint or glue on him. And I will just remove this. Looks like my Y really did not want to come out. So I'm just going to take my Y, add glue to him. Again, different glue. Remember, I told you that was too thick of glue I was using. So use the glue that we're sending you in the kit. It's a nice thin consistency. Pick out the middle of your R if it didn't come out on its own. And there you go. How cute is that? So cute. So easy. Just have patience with it. And like I said, if a piece comes out, then you can just individually glue that one back down. And then I'm gonna put the glue on here where my turkey is gonna be holding. And I will just glue that down. So cute, you guys. Ah, love it. Make sure you share these pictures with us when you are done, because I would love to see what colors you paint your turkey, how you display your turkey. This is the little piece that goes across the hat. Again, it's a funky shape, so I had to twist it. Adding that piece in and making sure I have the hat going the right way. This hat has some interesting lines. So just make sure you have it going the right way before you really push it down. Okay, looks good. And then we're gonna put our hat top on. He is adorable. So much fun creating with you guys today. Would love if you stop by our social media, Facebook and Instagram, Deck the Halls DIY Studio. Share with us what you made. Send us a message, send us a DM. So cute. Tell us where you're displaying this for the holidays. Maybe you're just making it with your family. But oh my goodness, you guys, this is adorable. And see, I'm dancing with it before it's even dry. So don't do that. But isn't that fun? Okay, so remember, visit us on social media, share with us what you make, and thanks for DIYing with Deck the Halls today.